are Locked On Lakers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey everyone, welcome to another live Lakers postcast. Lakers lose, unfortunately, their third straight game to the Phoenix Suns. Who's at fault? They lose again, and at the same time, how do they fix this problem? Where do you point the finger on this one? Because the Lakers, again, in cup play have been undefeated, yet they go to Phoenix and they get outscored big time in the second half. Is this a problem? Is this a trend? Is this something that JJ Redick needs to figure out a way to fix quickly? And at the same time, what is going on with Rob Pelinka? We'll talk about all that through today's show. Also, your comments are encouraged. Don't forget, we're talking Laker basketball with you at the end of every single game on the Laker podcast. Again, it's Locked On Lakers Postcast. Again, Postcast. Lakers Locked On Postcast. It's like Lakers talk all season long at the end of every single game. Don't forget, Locked On Sports Los Angeles. It can be heard anywhere you get your podcasts. Want to talk about Bilt real quick. Want to thank the people at Bilt because, look, if you're paying rent, they're doing you a huge favor. You can start earning points on your rent towards flights, towards hotel stays by joining Bilt. Bilt today. It's that simple. It's joinbilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, joinbilt.com/LockedOnNBA. So the Lakers lose another one. It's a heartbreak because every time the Lakers lose, it's a heartbreak. We expect more from this team. Lakers fall to 10-7 on the season. They lose their first cup game. Lakers on the road, they fall to 3-5. A lot of bad news for the Lakers. And at the same time, you go, well, what can they do to possibly fix it? We'll get into all that through today's show. Just want to start off by saying, when you look at what's going on with the Lakers and you say, is it Anthony Davis's fault? Because you know what? He didn't have a very good game against Denver. Didn't seem like Anthony Davis was a match for the Joker, yet the Joker seemed to have a tremendous game against the Lakers. And then you see the Nuggets go out a few days later and completely fall apart and embarrass, and their fan base is wondering what's going on. When you're looking at future Hall of Famers, guys like Anthony Davis, and you say, well, how will he rebound? Anthony Davis came out on fire. Like, he came out as the Laker, and LeBron James and everyone else that was going to facilitate the ball to him came out and said, look, we're going to get the big man involved early. He's our MVP candidate. He's having a heck of a year. He just didn't have a good game against the Nuggets. In the first quarter, Anthony Davis came out with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. At the same time, in the first quarter for the Suns, Bradley Beal with 8 points, Grayson Allen off the bench. Now, this is big. Nobody likes Grayson Allen unless you're a Duke fan, but Grayson Allen, 8 points off the bench. And the reason that's big, you say, how did the Lakers counter? How deep is the Lakers bench, and what can they do to provide a spark? Max Christie was the only Laker that scored in the first quarter coming off the bench, and he only had 2 points. So when you're looking at teams like the Suns who have been struggling coming into the game, they were the 8th seed in the West, yet the Suns look like world beaters against the Lakers. When you get no bench support from the team and you're going, okay, LeBron James is LeBron James. He's always going to have a decent game. He's always going to do whatever's necessary to help this team win. At the same time, LeBron can only do so much. Anthony Davis can only do so much. So second quarter, you're going, okay, what are the Lakers going to do? Because in the first quarter, they're outscored 31-25. Somehow they need a little bit of a spark. Anthony Davis can't do it all by himself. Anthony Davis finishes the half, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Austin Reeves, he adds 14 points for the Lakers. And they're going, things are doing much better because they're showing signs of improvement. They outscore the Suns 35-31 in the second quarter. At the half, it's Suns 62, Lakers 60. And you're feeling pretty confident going, okay, the Lakers are now trending in the right direction. That being said, you say, okay, what have the Phoenix Suns done? We all know that they have star power. They have 3 big guys on their team, right? You have Kevin Durant, you have Booker, you have Beal. Durant had 14 points at the half. Beal had 14 points at the half. At the same time, you're thinking the Lakers have figured the Suns out because they outscored them by 4 in the second quarter. They're definitely moving in the right direction. They have something to prove. You lose 2 games in a row in the NBA, and you're a little bit concerned, especially when you're the Lakers. You're just at a different level than everybody else. And so for the Lakers and JJ Redick and whatever said at halftime, you think there's going to be some kind of turnaround where there wasn't. Unfortunately for the Lakers, there wasn't a turnaround. And the Lakers, not only did they play poorly in the second half, they're outscored by 25 points in the second half. That is now 2 games back-to-back that the Lakers have fallen apart in the second half. And you wonder, okay, is it the players? Is it the coaching? This is one of those games for me. I blame coaching. You have to make adjustments. JJ Redick, again, he had a staff put together that surrounds him with former head coaches in this league to handle days and times like this where the team is struggling and you want to know what is the right combination. I think the right combination, honestly, is right there in front of JJ Redick's face, and I think many Laker fans agree. It's Dalton Knecht. Dalton Knecht, since he came out of the starting lineup, the team hasn't looked very good. And this isn't a point the finger at Rui, because he's a heck of an addition that they got a few years ago from the Wizards. But Rui ended up with 7 points. And it's never a thing we ever question Rui's effort. 23 minutes tonight, 7 points, 3 of 8 from field goal range, and again, 1 of 4 from three-point range, only 1 rebound. And you're wondering, okay, so if Rui has 1 rebound, and Cam Reddish is a guy that's basically going to mirror those stats. And it's funny, as I'm looking at the numbers right now, Cam Reddish mirrored the stats. So 23 points, 23 minutes for him, 0 points. So 0 points at all. You got nothing from 2 starting players in your lineup. Dalton Knecht, who has been a huge spark plug for this team, you are stifling his growth. Coming off the bench for Dalton Knecht, who, by the way, has never done this in his career. He has always been a starter. He was a starter in high school. He was a starter in college. He was player of the year in the SEC for the University of Tennessee a year ago. 19 minutes, 7 points, 2 of 3 from the line. But look, 1 of 4 from three-point range. He'd have been on fire. Outside of three-point range, he was 2 of 7. So when you look at the numbers, you go, well, he's a guy that you think, well, he doesn't deserve to play. When he starts, he definitely deserves to play. All of a sudden, the Lakers have serious weapons on the floor. When Dalton Knecht is on the floor, you go, okay, you have LeBron James, Hall of Famer. You have Anthony Davis, Hall of Famer. You have Austin Reeves, who everybody loves playing with. And then you have Dalton Knecht. Doesn't mean Rui can't start. Again, the days of your traditional, you have to have a point guard. You have to have a shooting guard, a small forward, power forward, center. Those days are gone. That's not the NBA. Everything is spread out now. There's always the threat of a three-point shot. So when you look at what the Lakers are doing and what JJ Redick is doing, he is stifling his own team by putting Dalton Knecht on the bench. The guy who needs to go to the bench is Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish needs to go to the bench. He provides you nothing. You know, hey, might be a great guy. Not exactly what the Lakers need. What they need is they need threats. They need offensive threats. And that's what every team that's successful in this league has, is offensive threats. If you put another guy on the floor that is giving you a serious offensive threat, then guess what? Your superstars are even more wide open. It's easier for Anthony Davis down the line. It's easier for LeBron James down the line to do what he needs to do to be successful. So right now, if the Lakers lose 127-100, it becomes extremely frustrating. And you go, where does this team go from here? At the same time, you look at what Phoenix does. Phoenix is not an upper echelon team in this league right now. And so it becomes very frustrating as far as what Phoenix has, okay? Kevin Durant's a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players of all time. Bradley Beal's fantastic, okay? Booker seems to play his best games against the Lakers year in and year out. You can follow Booker over and over again with other teams, and you go, Booker's an outstanding player, he's an Olympic player, he's an all-star, I got it. But Booker is like Jamal Murray on the Nuggets. If you ever notice, Jamal Murray has his best games when he's playing against the Lakers. He's not consistently that guy. So those 3 guys is what they have. There's no reason when you look at the Suns roster to go, why does this team dominate the Lakers? 127-100 doesn't make sense. You had how many days off? Okay, they played on Saturday. So you had Sunday off. You had Monday off. And then there you are, and you're watching this team who travels, an hour flight to Phoenix, and they aren't ready to play. And I can't say it wasn't that they weren't ready to play because they were exhausted. They weren't ready to play because they weren't prepared. And that's honestly how I feel, that this team right now, 10-6 overall, 3-4 on the road, very disappointing to see where they're at. Suns, they improved to 9-7, 5-3 at home. Not a dominating team at home. But the Lakers, again, having trouble doing their thing. And for Laker fans, it becomes very, very frustrating that this team cannot have the success that everybody was depending on. So overall, when you look at what the Lakers are doing, what can they do to possibly get better? Laker fans, you say, this is not basically my team, the team that I signed up for. At the same time, I can't disagree with you. This is the team that has to make an adjustment, has to get better, has to be better at what they are. So overall, I look at what the Lakers are doing, and I'm extremely disappointed, like many of you are. You just expect more. So at the same time, what do we do if you're Laker fans? What's your next plan of attack? You're going to be back tomorrow. You're going to watch the San Antonio Spurs take on the Lakers, who, by the way, the Lakers have lost 3 straight. The Spurs have won 3 straight. So it becomes frustrating to say, here's a team they're going to face on the road who is red hot right now. So overall, we'll figure out what's going on with the Lakers. Can they get better? We'll try and come up with solutions together. And when we do the next show, we want to make sure the Lakers are on top of things. And that's where that becomes very frustrating overall. When overall looking at LeBron James and you look at Anthony Davis, are you concerned? Are you concerned of that these guys are in a situation playing with guys saying we can't win with these guys? At the same time, are you looking at these guys going, what is the best possible move to say, what can we do to shake up this roster? Do they have enough big guys? Do they have enough help to help Anthony Davis? What are they going to do to move forward to improve everything that's happening with this team? And again, we have to get into all that stuff with the Lakers and everything that they have to do to change to get a little bit better. We'll talk tons of Laker basketball. It's November. I understand that, but I'm one of those people that maybe overreact just a little bit. But at the same time, I expect more from the purple and gold. I want to mention the people over at Bilt. Look, if you're one of those people that is renting and you aren't fortunate enough maybe to own a home currently at this time, and you're saying, man, I'm paying rent, but at the same time, I'm paying rent and it feels like I'm kind of throwing my money away. Well, guess what? Bilt has something for you. Don't forget right now, with Bilt, if you become a member, you can sit there and you can get reward points for paying rent. Bilt points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world that you can redeem your Bilt points forward to. Don't forget, points can also be redeemed towards future rent payments and unique experiences that only Bilt members have access to. So if you're earning points on rent, my question is, why aren't you? If you're doing it, you understand that you're winning. If you aren't doing it, you have to say, wait a second, there's a way I can pay off by paying my rent and also getting basically you get rewards for it. It doesn't get any better than that. Start earning points right now on your rent that you're already paying. All you have to do is join built.com/LockedOnNBA. That's JOINBILT.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure you use the URL so they know that we sent you. Join built.com/LockedOnNBA and start earning those points towards your rent payments today. So very exciting right there. Also at the same time, want to mention the people over at Robinhood. Don't forget, Robinhood is the place to go right now when you look at everything that's going on, that you say you don't have to be one of those people that says, I'm just not one of the lucky ones. You can be one of the lucky ones with Robinhood Gold. Right now, you don't have to be the guy that says, how come I'm not one of the top 1%? They will treat you like the top 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks that usually reserved for the high society. Now the resourceful individual, Robinhood Gold, can earn the liberal rate of 4.25 APY on uninvested cash and rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributors. Robinhood Gold also is privileges to not only just the high society, but also for you. And again, generous benefits are available to you at only $5 a month. The new gold standard here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Don't forget robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply for products, specific disclosures. Don't forget Robinhood Gold. That is what you can do to move forward. So looking at the Lakers right now, looking at their box score, and you say, okay, I'm looking at it, and I want to say, if JJ Redick came to me today, which guys need to pick up their game? D'Angelo Russell is kind of a curious case because D'Angelo Russell, 29 minutes off the bench, 5 of 13. Okay, this is what's always frustrating with D'Angelo Russell for me. Yes, he had 15 points, and you go, that sounds great. Plus minus was a minus 24 tonight. I don't know about you, but when the Lakers are losing and D'Angelo Russell is that guy, when there's a stoppage in play and there's a timeout or there's a dead ball and you see the guys fire it towards the basket, D'Angelo Russell makes every one of those from three-point range when it doesn't matter. But 1 of 6 from three-point range tonight. That's not the spark off the bench you talk about. Those are 15 empty points that he had tonight. So 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds for D'Angelo Russell, a guy whose name you heard could possibly be traded through the entire offseason, and yet D'Angelo Russell's still here. Are you getting all-star play from D'Angelo Russell? People will say no. But we've seen D'Angelo Russell through his NBA career when he's not been with the Lakers that he has played well. He was decent with the Nets, the Warriors, the Wolves. But when he comes to the Lakers, he's inconsistent as can be. And maybe it's just the way of his body language, but it gives you that feeling of I don't care, or I'm upset, or there's something missing. And he becomes frustrating because he is in that lineup coming off the bench to provide a spark, but he's not like that. He's not that guy that comes off the bench. It feels like you're getting a spark. So what do? Where does that spark come from? Is that spark in Gabe Vincent? Gabe Vincent, 1 of 4 from the field tonight. 1 of 4 from three-point range. 3 points. And he said, wait a second, I thought Gabe Vincent was supposed to be something when the Lakers acquired him. Not only is Gabe Vincent not something for the Lakers right now, Gabe Vincent feels like a guy that throws the team out of rhythm. Not saying that he is a guy that says, I got to get mine, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like he ever fits into what the Lakers are doing. It always feels like 4 against 5 when Gabe Vincent's on the floor, and it becomes frustrating. So you move down and you say, well, what about Max Christie? We heard all along this is going to be a big year for Max Christie, right? Max Christie is going to be a starter. Max Christie quickly found himself on the bench because he wasn't playing well. Then he went through a series of games where Max Christie wasn't playing at all. Now Max Christie is part of this bench rotation. Well, 13 minutes, 2 points. That's what you got from Max Christie tonight. And so it becomes frustrating again. It is bothersome to see where the Lakers are at right now. I already mentioned to you before about Dalton Connect with only 7 points off the bench. So the Lakers aren't getting bench points. They aren't getting the support that other teams are getting. They don't look like close to a championship team. If you remember, Rob Pelinka said at the beginning of the year, there are 2 things that I think about all the time. One is Rob Pelinka said at the beginning of the year, if the Lakers aren't gelling and not playing what we think is quality Laker basketball in December, we're going to look to make a trade. We aren't going to look to make a trade after the All-Star break, one of those where everyone waits till the deadline. We're going to look to make a trade early. Now's the time. I mean, unfortunately, if you watch the game through its entirety, you saw Jackson Hayes get hurt at the end of the game. Jackson Hayes had to be helped off the floor by his teammates, had to be taken to the locker room. It looks serious. It looks not a doctor just from watching on TV. The fact he couldn't put any pressure on his leg was extremely worrisome. So Jackson Hayes provides height. As much as people might not like Jackson Hayes, I like him because when I go to Laker games, he's one of those guys that's there early and he's always working. He wants to be better. At the same time, he provides height, and now you're going to lose height. This is a terrible team to lose height against when you're facing the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday. Wembanyama is a giant. So it's a lot of work for Anthony Davis. A lot of physical play is going to have to happen for the Lakers to hopefully keep Wembanyama in check. So Jackson Hayes, we'll find out more. We'll know more by tomorrow's show, exactly what the extent of his injury is, how far he is out, and when he could possibly come back. But the Lakers right now, there is no answer unless Rob Pelinka pulls a move, unless JJ Redick can play with this lineup a little bit. When you look at LeBron James, who's going to be 40 in December, and you say, LeBron, hey, we're going to try and save you on some minutes here because not only are you getting up in age, you are up in age. LeBron James, again, 35 minutes, leads the team in minutes played. Anthony Davis had the same thing, 35 minutes, but you expect Anthony Davis to play 35 minutes. LeBron James is playing a lot of minutes. And so when you face the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow night, and from here on out, when the schedule gets tough this week, you're going to ask LeBron James to do even more. And you're going to ask Anthony Davis to do even more. And at the same time, it's back-to-back games, and you're going, okay, at what point do these guys sit out in their back-to-back games? We see other teams do it. LeBron's going to say it's only November. I've been doing this for a long time. At some point, LeBron's going to expect a couple games. He's going to need it. He's going to deserve it. But the Lakers can't afford to have a superstar sit out. Not when you're riding a 3-game losing streak. So if we find out tomorrow that, hey, LeBron's not going to play against the Spurs or he's going to take a game off this week, it becomes even more frustrating. Because we told you in the last show that the Lakers, 6 of their next 7 games were going to be on the road. That's a tough schedule to go. And when you lose the last game before you hit the road against the Nuggets the way you did, you need to prove this is not our identity. And the guy that can show this isn't their identity is LeBron James. So for the Lakers, they got a lot of problems right now. How do they fix it? It's November, but how do you fix it? And say what is the basically the biggest issue? What is the issue, of course, with JJ Redick? Can JJ Redick fix what's going on? Can the Laker players fix what's going on? You hear all the time in other sports, especially in baseball, about the player-only team meetings. Is this one of those where you basically have that talk? I don't think it is. And the reason I don't think it is because it's not a talent issue. I believe these guys are playing hard. I haven't seen that game where I don't feel like, hey, they aren't playing hard. I feel like they're playing up to their capabilities. And overall, this is what they are. Unfortunately, this is what the Lakers are right now. And until they can find a way to fix this, we're in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble, and they need to fix this soon. So, we'll figure the whole thing out. And with JJ Redick and his fans, we aren't going anywhere. We love Laker basketball, not only in Los Angeles, but as you can see, it's one of those teams that they are followed across the country. When the Lakers are playing their games across the country, man, you see jerseys everywhere. You see the gold. You see it behind the basket. You see the LeBron jerseys. You see the Kobe jerseys. You see the Magic jerseys. People are following Laker basketball because the Lakers, again, are the premier team in the league. The Lakers are cool. Celtics, as good as they aren't cool. Lakers are that team that everybody, either you love them, you hate them, but you can't take your eyes off them either way. I want to mention the people over at SKIMS, because right now the underwear game has gone to a whole new level. Don't forget that all of a sudden, underwear used to be one of those things nobody talked about. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about underwear and everyone's talking about SKIMS. SKIMS is an underwear that has always been used by women in the past. Guess what? They're making men's underwear. Don't forget, right now with Christmas just around the corner, and you're thinking, what is the perfect gift? Mention to your wife how great it would be to try SKIMS. It might be one of those where you might be embarrassed to say, hey, I want underwear. But at the same time, underwear is completely different than it was before. Ask about the cotton 5-inch boxer brief. People say it all the time. They try it on. It is a game changer. So if you have tried on the boxer briefs, you tried SKIMS, and you say it's not just for women, they now have it for men, and they have the stretch in it, and they have the how comfortable it is for you. Don't forget, SKIMS is the way to go. Again, the holiday is just around the season. Don't be afraid to ask for SKIMS. SKIMS is for men now as well. Shop SKIMS Mens at skims.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, that's shop SKIMS Mens at skims.com/LockedOnNBA. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey, and they'll select the drop-down menu that follows. Again, you're looking for the perfect gift. Don't forget about SKIMS. So right now, looking at everything that the Lakers have to do, kind of curious to know, what are your thoughts on this? What would you do to possibly fix it? Looking at BC right here, he says, D'Angelo Russell shooting 38% this season, including 28% from three-point range. BC, that's one of my biggest complaints. I thought this guy was supposed to be automatic offense. Okay, so when I said there are two things that I think about all the time, Rob Pelinka, who made the comment that said, we're going to make a trade. Okay, you called it. We didn't put those words in your mouth. You said it. At the same time, JJ Redick, he might have jokingly said it, but he meant it because it was his game, not saying exactly this number. But remember, he said, if we shoot up 53 pointers a game, I'd be good with it. The Lakers haven't had that kind of shooter in a long time. The closest thing the Lakers have to that shooter is Dalton Connect. And yet he's sitting there on the bench. So how are you going to sit there and play the game that you talked about in the summer of saying shooting up threes? JJ Redick is probably the best three-point shooter still in the Lakers organization right now. JJ Redick was a guy that I always wished the Lakers would have acquired as a shooter, and they weren't able to get him. So now that he's the head coach, and I'm not saying that they made a mistake at all. Again, I told you on the last show, I thought JJ Redick was a guy that would be good for this team because it's different, and I thought his coaching staff hires were good. They aren't making adjustments. And when you hear JJ Redick make statements like he did the other day of, I have trouble sleeping after games like this. I go home and I watch film and I try and figure out what went wrong. And guess what? We do the same thing. We all do as Laker fans. We don't watch film, but we might watch the replay. And when we wake up tomorrow morning, if you're like me and you love this team and it's important to you if they win or lose, when that alarm goes off in the morning, you start thinking, did the Lakers win last night? It's one of the first things that enters my mind. In the first 5 seconds I'm awake, it means everything to me. Did the Lakers win or not? And so it's upsetting. So I don't know what to tell you right now, Laker fans. They lost 3 straight. Again, they have to get on a plane. They have to travel to San Antonio, and they take on the Spurs. Can they fix everything that happened? I appreciate the questions, the comments that you guys say. BC says, go Lakers. I'm with you, BC, on that one. Uncanny says, Adilo, Gabe, Rui, just not playing the standard that their contract says. And I agree with that too. When you're doing your job and you're getting paid to do it, you're getting paid to do a job at a certain level. We can talk about all the money those guys make. It's unreal money. I mean, it's play money. The deal is everyone who picks up a basketball at some point believes they can be an NBA player. None of us could. I mean, if anyone's ever gone to a Laker game or any pro game a few hours before and just watch these guys shoot on their own, they never miss. And these guys are outstanding. So anyone ever sits in the crowd and screams, and this guy sucks, then none of them ever are that bad. The problem is, can you play as a team, and can you put basically a lineup together that can threaten even the best teams in basketball? This isn't, no offense to, the Atlanta Hawks or the Indiana Pacers. This is the Lakers. There's a standard here. There's a bunch of banners that hang from crypto because the guys before them earned it. There's pride in it. The guys like Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. It goes on and on. All the Hall of Famers. When you look at the guys who lead this league in efficiency and stats, look how many Lakers are in there. This is a different standard. And right now they are not playing up to the standard of this team. How many guys can look in the mirror tonight and say, hey, I played a good game? If everyone else would have played up to my level, I would have been okay. I'm looking at Austin Reeves right now on television, 15 points, 6 of 12 from the field, and then 2 of 6 from three-point range. Austin Reeves plays a team game all the way through. So what happens there? How do you figure out those 5 guys, keep them on the court the most? Again, I think the easy solution is Dalton Connect. You think JJ Redick is afraid to tell Rui you aren't a starter? Is that the issue that's going on? Because I can't understand it, why you would change it up. You have a rookie that is growing into the talk of the NBA when it comes to this rookie class, and all of a sudden you're going to be the guy that handcuffs him and he disappears. Very, very frustrating. So, what's next for this Laker team? Again, we'll be back in 24 hours. The Lakers travel to San Antonio. They take on the Spurs, a Spurs team that I think many consider one of the worst teams in the league. And you look at the schedule and you go, games that you think the Lakers should win, games the Lakers might have trouble with. The Spurs are always a team that you go, Lakers should win this one. That should be one in the victory column. Guess what? The Spurs have confidence now. The Spurs have won 3 straight games. Lakers have dropped 3 straight games. Not saying the Lakers are in panic mode, but at the same time, you can't make that 4. You can't make that 4 against the San Antonio Spurs. You got to pull it together. Unfortunately, as I said, losing Hayes, you lose some bigs. So how are you going to attack the Spurs? That's something that JJ Redick and his staff better spend the next 24 hours thinking about, because it is getting to the point where it will be unacceptable to drop 4 straight, even in the month of November. What do they say? You can't make the playoffs in November, but you can miss the playoffs in November. This is one of those where the Lakers need to figure it out. They know how important it is to where you're seated. It's not the play-in game. That's not acceptable for Laker fans. It's not barely getting in. It's being at least one of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference to have a chance to show you're the real deal. It's weird how certain teams always pick up their games toward the Lakers. I understand it because it has, the Lakers have the cool logo. They got the Lakers on the front. They have the history we just talked about of playing your best basketball against the Los Angeles Lakers. But the Lakers have to know that too. I always think of the line Mookie Betts used as the Dodgers are making their run towards the World Series title. He said, for us, when we play the other team, it is their World Series. Couldn't agree with that line more, because that's the star power that the name has. Dodgers, the Laker name in Los Angeles, I believe is still the biggest name in sports. And that's saying a lot. Number 2 media market, team that is dominated with the banners. And you have, a bunch of championships. You have 17 of those championships up on the wall. And there's a lot of pride. Right now, I think the Laker players, Laker coaches especially, need to figure that out. How do they possibly rebound and get that basically stature back? And that's what we want as fans. We want to see another parade. We want to see another banner. We want to see when guys get their numbers retired, and there are guys on this team that are going to get the numbers retired one day. You're going to see LeBron James' number up there in the rafters. You're going to see Anthony Davis's number up there as well. And know what goes through your mind right away? How many championships did they win? That's where we are as fans. It's not MVP awards or all-star games. How many championships did those guys win when those numbers go up there? And that's how we evaluate our favorite players, our favorite team. We're going to be back again tomorrow, right after the Spurs game. We're looking for a Laker win. Let's stop this losing streak. Lakers have to figure this thing out, because right now, again, the big number is in the second half, they're outscored 65-40. Final score again, 127-100. Lakers lose. Don't forget, this is the Locked On Lakers postcast. And at the same time, Locked On Sports Los Angeles. Don't forget, you can catch your podcast and this podcast everywhere they are heard. We're everywhere. Locked On Sports. And don't forget as well, we're covering Lakers throughout the season. Appreciate the comments and encourage those as well, as I will try and answer all your questions. Also want your opinions on how you fix things. And when things are going well, you tell me what you see that you think can make things even that much better. So again, thanks again for following the Lakers through Locked On Sports. We'll see you tomorrow night.